Hi everyone, in this video I'll be discussing 5 tips to improve your Firefox experience. This isn't a list of the top 5 tips, but a list of 5 easy tips that you can do to improve your browsing experience. My main browser is Firefox and I do use other browsers, though my primary is Firefox. So I'm just going to start it up. Number 5, keyboard shortcuts. So I use keyboard shortcuts and I use them a lot. It's much faster to use a shortcut instead of using the mouse to do the same thing. Once you get used to them, you'll never look back. The shortcuts I use include Alt plus D. So if I go Alt plus D, it'll go to the address bar at the top here where I can search with Google or I can enter in an address. It's much faster to hit Alt plus D instead of moving your mouse up here. Another one is Control plus T, and this will create a new tab in your browser. And I can create multiple tabs, and it's quicker instead of hitting the plus sign each time that you want to create a new tab. And if I want to close a tab, I no longer need it. I can hit Control plus W. So Control plus W, Control plus W, Control plus W. And that will close a tab much quickly than hitting DX. Another one is Control plus Tab if I want to cycle through. So let's say create some more tabs here. And if I wanted to cycle through, I can hit Control plus Tab and it will cycle through. And I can go the reverse way, Control Shift plus Tab, and it'll cycle the opposite way. Another shortcut that I use is Control plus N. Control plus N will create a new Firefox window and make it active. So if you have another window that you want to open up, you can just hit Control plus N instead of going to, for example, Alt, File, and New Window, and it's much faster. So I'm just going to close this. And another one that I use is if I want to open up a new page, a new window with that page. So for example, if I go to Wikipedia, and let's just go to English, and let's just say that this page I want to open up in a new browser. And so I can go to the address bar, Alt plus D, and then I can hit Shift plus Enter, and it'll create a new window with that page ready for me. And so I can just swing it to the right, and I have it on the left as well. And I usually use this if there's lots of information on the page and I need to look over 2 or more different parts of that page. So this helps with that. So I'm just going to close this, go back to my main window here, and I'll close this. Number 4 is search for text when you start typing, is essentially that. I want to search for text when I start typing away. So this one, you have to go into the application menu, and then you go into settings, and then you go to general, and at the bottom, say search for text when you start typing. So I check it off. Just going to open up a new tab, and I'll go to a website, Wikipedia, and I'll click on English. And then let's say I search for English. Just start typing, and we'll say there's 1 of 3 matches, and I can hit Control plus G, and it'll scroll through all the different matches that it finds on the page. I can hit Control Shift plus G, and it'll go in reverse. And there's also as well as Control plus F, which is the full search, and it has more options, but sometimes just a regular search will do just fine. Number 3 is Incognito Mode. The shortcut for it is Control plus Shift plus P. And as you can see here, it's opened up a new private tab. So what is Incognito Mode? Well, Incognito Mode removes your browsing history, and Incognito Mode helps prevent websites from tracking you that use cookies to do this. Cookies are little pieces of data that are stored on your computer to help identify you when visiting sites. Now, this doesn't mean you're doing something nefarious. It could be, for example, you're at home using a family computer and you want to check on Amazon for a gift for someone in the family. Well, you don't want that to show up in the browsing history, and also don't want it to show up in your search history at Amazon. So this is where it can help. So I use Incognito Mode, and I often use this at work for troubleshooting as well. If my regular Firefox browser is not able to connect to something, or something is not showing up properly, I bring up a new Incognito window, pull up that site to test, will rule out my existing Firefox browser session cookies being an issue. So that's where Incognito Mode can help. Number two is an ad blocker. I'm always surprised when people are browsing who don't have an ad blocker. The most common are Adblock and uBlock Origin. I use uBlock Origin, which also does content filtering as well. It's an extension to Firefox, so you can just search for uBlock Origin and install. So go to Google, uBlock Origin, Firefox, get this extension, add it to Firefox. Now add it, hit OK. And check here for your extensions, and it's automatically installed as we can see here. The default settings are fine, but you can modify some of the settings to fit your needs. So with this, there's no more dealing with certain unwanted content, pop-ups or pop-unders, ads that distract you, waste your time so that you can focus on what you need to do. If you need to check out the options for it, just go to the extensions and you can hit the wheel here. You can manage extension. And from here, you get to check it out. You can go to the three dots and you can go to options. And here are all the different options that you have here. Filter list, my filters, my rules, trusted sites. And so you can take a look at these options and modify anything that you need. And number one we have is keywords. So we know what bookmarks are. It allows you to save a URL web page for future reference. You go to your bookmark and it loads up the page. If you access the bookmark often, then you can put it in your bookmarks taskbar right here. And if it doesn't show, then you can go to Alt and then View and then Toolbars, bookmark toolbars, and make sure it says Always Show. Now, but even in the taskbar, you still have to move your mouse up to the bookmark that you want, and it's just too slow. So that's where keywords shine. You create a keyword for that bookmark. So for example, if I were to keyword my YouTube page, create a new tab, I'll bookmark this, Alt, I'll go to Bookmarks, bookmark current tab, I'll hit Save, and then I'll go back to it. It's in the taskbar, and also as well as under here. So if I right click on it and I go to edit bookmark, and then under here it says keyword. So I can put in, for example, YT, and I can hit save. So now there's a keyword for it. So let's just say I close this and I'll create a new tab. And then all I have to do is just go to the address bar and just type in YT and then hit enter, and it'll pull up my page. So no more finding and clicking on the bookmark taskbar anymore. And if you have sites you constantly visit, then this would help speed things up. I use this at work a lot when I'm accessing different Salesforce pages. So I just bookmark them and create different keywords. I try to have the keywords memorable. So for example, YT, which obviously stands for YouTube, or for example, Salesforce, I would use SF. And I try to have them short. So the fewer the keys, the better. I've only gone as far as 3 keys. So for example, 2YT would be a second YouTube page that I have. And third, I use different keys so that each of my fingers can hit a key in sequence and piano it. For example, I use TL, which stands for task list for me, and I have 2TL, which is another task list. So 2TL, and then I would hit enter. And these are task lists that are sent to me daily at work that get updated that I need to get done. So that's it. 5 tips to improve your Firefox experience. Number 5, keyboard shortcuts. Number 4, search for text when you start typing. Number 3, incognito mode. Number 2, ad blocker. And number 1, keywords. So I hope this was helpful, and I thank you for watching. Bye now.